All of the food we eat and much of the clothing we wear comes from plants and animals that are raised on farms. Farms are different in type, in size, and even in name.
Welcome to Barn Talk. What happens at the barn stays in the barn, but not today. We're going to let it all out for you guys. Today is going to be a Barn Talk Hot Topics episode. We got some shit we need to talk about. What's going on in the world, going on around the country, and we're going to spill the beans. But before we get into it, you guys know the drill. Share the show with the people that you know if you get any value. If you laugh, if you're related to us on something, if you learn something new, all we ask is you share it. We think the best way to grow a podcast is word of mouth. That's what we're kind of finding out. So thank you to all that do that. Another thing you can do to help out the show is leave a review on Spotify or Apple. We finally hit 3,000 5-star reviews on Spotify, and we're getting closer to 2,000 5-star reviews on Apple. Apple's got to catch up a little bit. Apple guys, if you're out there, leave a review. Last thing you can do to support us here at Barn Talk and here on our farm is you can support our direct-to-consumer meat business, Farmer Grade, farmergrade.com. We're running a special on baby back ribs right now, 20% off for our cut of the week. Every week it's different. All the meat on there is from 100% transparent American family farms, showing what they do on their operation through social media every day. And if you want to support that and support that cause, we would really appreciate your business. So,
just think of it as a carnivore Patreon.
Yeah,
a lot of people have, a Patreon deal that you can subscribe or you can give them a donation or whatever. We don't have that.
We don't got a Patreon.
We got Farmer Grade. So it's a carnivore Patreon for all you supporters of Barn Talk, and it tastes better than Patreon anyway.
Are you smoking anything this weekend?
Oh, I thought you meant like right now. No, I'm not high at all. No. Well, I don't know. It's supposed to rain. Maybe.
Last weekend you said you were going to smoke a pork brisket, but we never got around to it.
Time got away from us.
Yeah.
But if it's decent, we better do it because if it doesn't rain, we're going to start harvesting Monday.
Yeah, we won't have time for much smoking then, and it's going to get shitty. It's going to start getting shitty out, so.
We'll have to move the smoke.
We got to have one last smoker. Yep. One last smoke.
Well, we better do that. We better do pork brisket.
Or ribs.
Or both.
Or both. Can't go wrong.
You could, actually, you know what? You could, because they both take about the same amount of time. You can do it about the same amount of time, so you might be able to, we'll have to try that.
How are you doing today?
I'm all right. It's been a busy day.
It has been a busy day. I haven't showered. I haven't been able to take care of myself because I've been just running and gunning. We've been running and gunning pretty much all day. Chores are done, though. Stuff's been fixed.
Yeah, we fixed a lot of stuff. Got some stuff done pre-harvest. Just a side note, you probably are going to want your dog to have a bath before you put him in because Darling brought a fresh tank for the dead stock, and when I dropped off the trailer up there, he was licking that for all it was worth. So he doesn't smell very good.
Yeah. Cat will have to bathe him.
You probably do because he went in my garage. And
she really loves having dogs inside. But when you have farm dogs that want to be farm dogs outside, but then want to come inside and enjoy that too, that's where you get screwed.
Yeah.
That's where you get screwed. If we could ever redo something in our house, or if we ever built a house, I always say, because we're never gonna not have dogs inside. I've come to terms with that. We need a dog wash area, a dog shower, a dog bath that's got tile that's easy to just spray them off, and is not going to be a mess. And you don't have to take them upstairs and bathe them. Just easy to clean right there.
You just need to,
or put it in the garage. Something.
When these dogs pass away, you need to get yourself a pair of pugs. Because they won't leave the house.
I don't like pugs.
You just take them out in the morning, and then wherever they fall asleep, they'll be there 6 hours later.
Easy. And then they're boring.
Well, true.
Not as fun.
They are fun to feed and look at.
Yeah.
So, otherwise, yeah, you better get that.
I'll leave that to you.
Oh, yeah.
You can get some pugs.
I don't know about that. I don't know. Anyway, How about a market update?
We'll take one.
I don't know. I think today corn was down 8 cents, and I think the main reason for that is because yield information is starting to get out around the Midwest, and there are some monster yields out there. Probably more on that next week once more stuff gets going around here, but from what I've heard and just from what we've yield checked, I think it's going to be pretty good. Corn, 406 locally, 366. Oh, sorry, 406 on the board. That's the December contract. 366 locally, 434 in Cedar Rapids at either ADM or Cargill, and that is if you get it there by the 21st. So you better leave now. Beans, November contract 1013, Burlington 940 and 968 at Quincy. I got a brand new. We've gone paperless. We've gone paperless here at Barn Talk. We're saving all the trees, so we're using our monitor now for outline. So it looks like I'm really intense. I don't have to look down. I can focus on you, the listener. Not that you care.
The viewer too.
Well, the viewer too.
Don't leave out the viewer.
Yeah, because the listener, they don't care anyway.
Yeah, they can't see your eyes.
Yeah. I think I look better to listeners than viewers.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I digress. 940 in Burlington, 968 in Quincy. Bean meal for October, $3.19 a ton. Hogs, $82.25. An almost respectable hog futures price, especially if you consider that corn and bean meal may continue to slide a little bit, so these hog guys may make a little money. Cattle, 180. Feeder cattle, 245. Crude oil, 72.05. Bitcoin, 63,000. Ethereum's 2,500. Tesla, $243 a share. Gold, 26.14. That gold just keeps working up. I think there must be a lot of people in the precious metal markets that they think the end is near or something. They don't like this economy. Silver, $28. And the Fed cut a half a point on the interest rate. Paying that deficit interest must be a real bitch, because I don't know what necessarily has changed that all of a sudden the Fed just is like, well, inflation's dead. We got her whipped. We're going to start dropping this interest rate. I feel like they're getting a lot of pressure from somewhere, because I haven't seen any prices come down on anything that I buy every day.
I haven't either, and 0.5% ain't going to really move the needle much. I'm not going to go and refinance any of my loans.
No, it's going to take some time for that to work through the system. Yeah. We'll just have to see. And the other thing is, you're really going to know whether or not like they can stick with this plan. So if you come to the end of the year and they drop it another 0.25%, well, then maybe we're getting a little traction. I don't know. And I hope they know what they're doing, because I sure as hell don't need inflation. None of us do. If you happen to tag along to go to the grocery store, holy Mother Mary. Crazy.
It is crazy.
I'll tell you inflation. You want to know some inflation?
I got something for you.
Give it to me.
So there was a guy that did a TikTok, and he had his Walmart app open. See this? He had all his order history from like 2 years ago, and he reordered what he ordered 2 years ago, and it was like $120 from 2 years ago. He ordered it now. It's like 3x. It was like over $400. It was like $350 to $400 from
Holy shit.
From what he had 2 years ago. And he was like, "We're not crazy.
No,
we're not crazy. Everybody's, government likes to tell you that it's the best economy. It's the best economy since in history. It's the best economy in history." No, it's not.
Damn.
It's crazy. That was like visual evidence of like, no, prices have gone up tremendously. So.
Well, yeah, my example I was going to give is I've got 2 Brent 657 wagons, and I bought them, 3 years apart. And I honestly can't tell you what I paid for like the middle one, but I think the first one I paid like $19,000 for. And do you know what they're selling new ones for? $40,000. So the price has doubled since I bought that first one. I don't exactly know when that was. 2000s. I mean, I don't know if it's a 20 It's a 657, so I think they started making them in like 2014 maybe. So I don't know if it's a 2014, 2015, something like that. So from 2015, so 10 years, price has doubled. Crazy.
Yep.
Anyway.
Are you in the wagon business?
Huh?
Are you in the wagon business?
I'm not in the wagon business.
Are you looking to buy a wagon?
Well, I should have bought one. There was 2 that sold at KDK's auction, and I sat and watched them, and they weren't 657s. They were 644s, and one of them was an older version, and one of them was a late version. And I told myself, I'll go $10,000. And I quit. And I think one of them brought like $10,100, and one of them might have brought like $10,500. So there was the older one. Actually, I don't think it brought $10,000, but I wasn't going to pay that much for that one. So you say, well, I should have kept bidding, but I bet you that somebody else probably had a number in their mind that was higher than mine. I'm just surprised that more people weren't bidding on it. Actually, I figured it would go faster to 10 than that, but it stayed right to the end. But then I'm like, nope, I'm not going over that. Now I don't have a wagon.
Discipline.
So now I'm going to have, I was disciplined.
You were.
But now I'm going to have to like haul ass
through the field.
Through the field.
Yeah, you must be feeling pretty good about the potential yield out there.
Well, I am.
Because you were going to go buy another wagon, so that means there's going to be a lot of bushels.
Well, I feel like there is going to be.
Is that your mindset?
That's my mindset.
That's what you were kind of thinking?
Yep.
So
now then I feel like I can't buy a wagon, because if I do buy a wagon, then I've jinxed myself and the yield's not going to be that good. So it's a catch-22.
I guess. So what's our first topic is harvest.
Hey, thanks for sticking with us. If you haven't heard of BioCal yet, it's time you do. BioCal from Midwestern BioAg is a soil amendment that makes your applied nutrients more available to your crop. Pairing manure with BioCal is really a no-brainer. More nutrients will be available in the first year while reducing compaction and improving soil health over the long term. We have used BioCal on our farm for like 12 years. I think this year will be 13 years. And we put it on every acre that's going to corn. In fact, this year it may go on every acre because we may plant corn on everything. Our soils, our crops have gotten better over that time and keep getting better. Through the drought last year, through all the water this year, we've seen a difference in the health of our crops, and you can feel the difference when you walk across our fields. We're not the only ones. Top producers in our area have seen the benefits of this year after year. To learn more, contact BioAg now for prepaid discounts at 1-800-327-6012 to order your fall application. You can also go to midwesternbioag.com. That number again is 1-800-327-6012. Give those guys a call. Now let's get back to it.
Harvest is approaching fast.
Yep. Well, it's here. Harvest is here.
It's here for us. We're not quite getting started yet, but probably if it doesn't rain this weekend, we're probably going to go next week. So what do you think? What are your thoughts? What are your projections?
So everybody that I talk to...
How big are the cobs going to be?
Going to be pretty good sized cobs. Yeah, that's right. You need to check out what the upcoming This Will Do farm video, because we do a yield check, and Sawyer is whipping the cobs out all over the place, and it's like a train wreck. You want to look away, but you can't. But anyway, everybody that I've talked to that has been out where people are harvesting around here say the numbers are pretty good. Most guys locally are running beans because like this mini drought that we've had has really dried out. I mean, beans are dying fast and turning fast. And so a lot of guys are worried about that if they don't get their beans now, that they're just going to be at 8%, from here until the end of harvest because we just can't get any rain. Now then, there's a chance of rain this weekend, and our beans weren't super early planted, so they're not quite there yet. But pretty much the last 2 days, everybody around that is doing anything is running beans. So there hasn't been a lot of corn that's been gotten into yet. But I've also heard that there's a lot of aflatoxin around there. I was talking to one of the guys from BioAg that goes down south, and I guess corn on corn that didn't get sprayed with fungicide or got sprayed with fungicide too early, they're having problems with aflatoxin. So if you're looking to sell that for feed, that's a problem, because feed mills, they don't want to deal with that crap.
What is that for people that don't know?
It's a mold basically that gets started growing in the cob, and when you harvest it, it's in those kernels of corn, and it binds to the kernels, and it's toxic to livestock. Now, I think that, say you were feeding that to fat hogs or to pigs that you were finishing out, I don't think it's like toxic, like it's going to kill them, but it could make them sick. The problem is, especially in gestating sows and farrowing pigs, you can, like, it'll make sows sick enough that I think they'll abort, or it'll get them sick enough that they're not milking. I don't know about how it works with baby pigs, but I know that from my experience of working in the production side of it, you do not want to deal with aflatoxin in your feed mill. And there's products that they can put in the feed.
Do they have a detector that can detect that?
Yeah, they test it.
So they test it all, and if it isn't, so what do you do if it's bad and it comes up?
They'll refuse it.
Okay.
Yep, at most feed mills, they'll actually refuse it. Now, if it's going for ethanol, or it's being for, corn, like ADM or somebody like that, I don't think it's a big deal. I should get some clarification on that, but to my knowledge, it doesn't affect that end use. But if you're using it for feed, a lot of mills, they'll just refuse it if it's over a certain level. So that's something we'll have to watch as we get going. A lot of guys talking about basically phantom yield loss, because these beans have dried so fast that, if you're out there combining and they're 8-9% beans, you can shave 3 bushel the acre off pretty fast. So I don't know. But today the market was down because a lot of rumors of big yields are floating around southeast Iowa. So we'll just have to see. Like I said, we're going to try to start Monday. We got a bin to clean out tomorrow, and then we'll be off to the races. And to your point, my hope is to not spill the beans this year. I'm going to try to make sure that I don't leave the door open on one of the wagons.
And I'm going to try to bat 1,000 on my grain cart operating. I'm not going to overfill any wagons. Yeah. I'm going to be batting 1,000.
There you go. You got to control that stick.
Yeah, you just got to shut off. You just got to shut it off in time.
Yeah,
that's the hard part. Got to give it time. You got to fill it all the way up. Get that wagon as full as you can get, but it's just all about timing. All about timing.
Did you see Corey Hilleboo's brand new Brant grain cart that he got?
Nope.
Because he's a suck up, and gets a lot of free shit. It's sexy, it's nice, but the unload on it sticks up 9 feet past the hitch of the tractor. So it's like, how you have to kind of turn. This one, it's like right here, so you just kind of go like.
You just
like that.
Turn your head.
Yep, it's like right there.
Oh, so, that's really nice.
Yep, he always gets the best of everything.
I wonder if he'll let us borrow it.
He should truck it down here to southeast Iowa. I mean, he's over-equipped the way it is.
Yeah.
I doubt he'd even miss it.
Corey will take it whenever you're ready.
Yep. He should come down and have to deal with the poor people down here in southeast Iowa.
He should.
I guess that's all I got. So, I don't know really where to start. I guess... Do you want to start with the debate or the? Do
you want to start with the shit or the shit?
It's all pretty shitty.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just say, as you all know, if first you don't succeed, try again. And Trump had another assassination attempt here last week. He was playing golf, and they found a guy set up in the chain link fence. He had an AK-47. He had a 7.62 rifle, and with a long scope on it. But he didn't get a shot off.
I don't think he got a shot off. No, they caught him. They caught him before he was able to shoot anything, but fucking psycho. Just a fucking. If you saw any pictures of him, he just looks like a nutcase.
Well, there's quite a bit of video out of him. I guess he was a big pro Ukraine war guy, and pretty, kind of nutty.
Oh, it's insane. It's insane. It's like we say this every time we have a hot topics. It's like a circus. Like we knew that 2024 was going to be a crazy year because it was an election year, but man, there's already been so much shit that's just wild. It's just wild.
Yeah.
Assassination attempt, gets shot in the ear. Kamala gets put up. Joe gets shoved to the side. Don't vote for Kamala. They just pick the candidate for you. And he's about to get shot again, but doesn't. It's just like, how many times are they going to try?
Well, you got to ask yourself. I mean, there are people that have said that, like, I think Tucker Carlson said he doesn't think, well, I want to be careful how I say this, but there's people out there that basically think that they will do anything to keep that man from being president, whether he's duly elected or not, because it is just it has gotten so partisan, and the machine is so anti-Trump that they'll about go to any length to keep that from happening. And
scary part is, too, if he does win, are they going to stop there either? I mean, like, are they going to stop then? Or are they going to keep trying to pursue it?
Oh, it's not going to stop.
I mean, it's like, geez, you're going to have to put him in a glass. You're going to have to put him in a glass box when he gives a speech.
Pope-mobile. He'll be like the Pope.
I don't know.
One of those bulletproof.
It's sad that politics drives people to do some crazy shit like this.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone on either side should have to worry about getting shot and killed and assassinated. Like, I don't wish death on the other side by any means, and I don't think anybody should. I don't think political violence is okay whatsoever, but evidently there's people out there that think that they can just take matters into their own hands and try to do it, and it's sad, and it just, again, makes me want to vote for Trump even more, because it just does seem like, man, they will do anything to not allow this guy to run. And I don't know, he could have been acting, he's going to say he was acting as himself and alone, but again, who fucking knows?
Well, and there's some question out there as to whether or not the feds are going to prosecute him, because Merrick Garland came out late last week, and I guess I don't know for sure, but something about there was some question whether or not they were going to actually charge him with an assassination attempt. But then the state of Florida said basically either you do or we will, because Florida wanted to take jurisdiction on it and prosecute him, well, as a capital crime. And I don't know where all that's at, but yeah, it's a mess. And I guess just jumping off of that, the debate, for any of you that actually watched the debate, I did not watch it. I listened to it. I couldn't quite stand to sit in the room and watch it because I knew it was going to be cringy. So I just listened to, my wife watched it, but I sat in the kitchen and actually was watching a podcast. So I was kind of half listening to it. And I think it's one of those things that you kind of knew what you were going to get, because the moderators weren't moderate, and they fact-checked everything that Trump said. And
quotation marks, fact-checked.
Nothing that she said. I mean, she didn't answer. She really didn't answer many questions. Every question they gave her, she might have said one sentence on it, and then she just used it as a chance to just run, basically personal campaign ads. And I don't know. I thought the highlight of the whole thing was when she was talking about controlling the border, and Trump just said basically that she needs to get a MAGA hat because she's just echoing everything that he said. But the Biden administration and her haven't done any of these things in the time that they've been in office, but now then she sounds like Trump.
Yep.
And I thought that was a good point.
I thought my highlight was when he was saying, he's told her like, and I'll just say this, I don't think Trump just sometimes can't shut his mouth. And that honestly hurts him, I feel like, and it hurts people that are on the fence of who they're going to vote for, because when they see him acting like that, I think people get a little pissed off and just like, dude, come on. Like, be I'm not saying mature, but just reframe yourself from just like the insults or just, going blabbering on or whatever. So I don't know if the debate really helped Trump or if it hurt him. But one highlight, and you go on Twitter and all the lefties say Kamala just absolutely killed it and Trump sucked. And then all the right wing guys say, oh, Trump absolutely killed it. He destroyed her. I don't know. I don't think it did a whole lot of good for either side. I didn't feel like there was a clear winner that won the debate. Both Trump, I think, might have hurt himself more than Kamala did, but at the same time, Trump had some good zingers that did hit pretty well. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. But my highlight was when he said, let's go to the White House. Let's stop this debate right now. Let's go to the White House. Let's wake up Sleepy Joe right now. And let's shut down the border. Let's put a bill. Let's sign a bill and shut down the border right now.
Yeah,
because she was talking about how we're going to shut the border down, do all this shit. He's like, you got the power right now. Let's go and do it. Let's go and do it right after this. Let's get on a plane and let's go do it.
Yep.
And that's my whole point with Kamala. It's like we've said it on this podcast. They put her up, didn't give the people the chance to vote for her, and she's saying all the things she's going to do. And they paint this false reality that everything's okay, even though all everyday Americans are feeling the BS that they have put us through this last 4 years or 3.5 years, whatever. And they don't do a thing about it. Like, you're going to just let this woman tell you what she's going to do, but doesn't do anything right now? Because we all know Joe ain't running the show. He hasn't been running the show.
Right.
She probably has more say than he does at this point. And she hasn't said, obviously, she hasn't said shit. Nothing's gotten done. Nothing has happened that's better for the American people since they've been in office. It's just not. So I thought that was a great, just like in your face, kind of like, let's change it then. Fucking change it. You're in there right now. Fucking change it.
Yeah, no, I 100%.
And that's
that was a great point.
That's what I'm thinking when I'm sitting on my couch watching. Or that's what I'm thinking when I see her political campaigns. Fucking change it right now.
Yeah.
You're in there. Do something.
But I think she is I think that what you're getting with her is basically the same thing that you got from Joe, just with another deficiency. So Joe's deficiency was he's really old and doesn't have a real firm grip on what's going on. Her, I think she's really not very capable and not very bright when it comes to a lot of subjects. She might be one hell of a prosecutor. I don't know. But when it comes to foreign policy, the border, economics, anything like that, I don't think she knows shit. And so, but that's why they're running her.
They're running her because she's a woman. She's bought and paid for, and she's been a career politician for as long as she's been. Well, and it's the easiest move on the chessboard. Well, just put her up.
Because nothing will change. Nothing will change. So it's not like there's going to be a reshuffling. The staff that is in the White House, the chief of staff, all of the people that are there, they literally will stay there. If she becomes the president, nothing will change because the same people that are actually making the calls, the people that are actually moving and creating the agenda and the policies and doing all of the things behind the scenes for Joe, they're going to do the same thing for her because she in a different way, is no more capable than he was. And that's why she's the candidate, is because
they can keep running the same play.
Exactly right.
They can keep running the same play.
She's just riding the deal. So,
and there will be change. It'll just be it'll be change for the worse, not the better.
Yeah,
that's what it'll be. I mean, it's. I don't know, guys. It's very scary to think that she could win. I mean, it really does. It really worries the shit out of me, and it keeps you up at night if you focus on it too much. Yeah. I think.
So I think we touched on this, that basically, I don't think anybody that was first of all, I don't know who out there in the country is undecided. Like, they always talk about all these undecided voters. Well, I don't know who in the hell is undecided. I mean, when you look at this shit show, you pretty much are going to react one way or the other.
You either aren't voting or you're voting for one or the other. That's it.
I don't think there's anybody that's like, gosh, I just don't know, who I'm going to vote. I mean, who the hell? I don't know who that is. But a point was made that I watched Sean Ryan's interview with JD Vance, and I thought it was really good.
Yeah, and I want to say, keep that thought. JD Vance has really came out and surprised me. Mm-hmm. He is very articulate, clear. Actually, when he gets interviewed, has some shit to back up what he's saying. He's not a dick to the interviewers.
Right.
But he's firm. He's firm. He's confident. He brings facts, and he's very professional. And like, I don't get. Like, I feel like he's young. Yep. I really liked what I've seen from JD Vance so far. The only thing that people give him shit for is they say that he might be wearing mascara. I don't really give a fuck about that. Whatever. That might be bullshit anyway. It might be just the way his eyes are. I don't know.
It's no different than...
It's a political hit. I mean...
DeSantis with his platform cowboy boots.
And then people make fun of him for having an Indian wife and, saying that that's his, like... That's like his shield against the race card. People call him racist, whatever.
And they call her a hypocrite.
It's like, fuck you. Anyway, I just wanted to say I have been very pleased with what I've seen from JD Vance of how he's handled himself in the media and just standing his ground. And I don't feel like he looks like from what I've seen so far, he doesn't look like he's a career politician as far as like being bought and paid for and going with what. Because my biggest fear with him is like, are you going to be one of these warmongering, career politicians that's bought by the military-industrial complex? But I haven't really seen that yet. Yeah. So I'm happy with what I've seen so far. But go ahead, Sean Ryan show.
Yeah, so he asked him, I mean, one of the dings that everybody wants to bring up is that Trump's not going to get votes from women. And JD Vance had a great... He said, I don't know. He goes, I can't really speak on that. He goes, all I can say is, he said, in this country, roughly 70%, I mean, he had the exact number. He goes, but roughly 70% of the groceries in this country are purchased by wives. And he said, so to me, if you are a woman and you do the grocery shopping or you do the Target run, the Walmart run, the whatever, he said, are you going to vote for Harris? Because you've seen your grocery bill go up all the time. And you've seen the cost of filling up when you're taking the kids to school. You've seen the cost of school supplies. He said, so if I'm a woman, I don't know. Looks to me like probably not going to vote for what's going on. I thought that was a great answer.
That is a good answer. And what I like about JD Vance and what I don't like about the debate is like what you said, and Trump does the same thing. They ask a question, the fuckers don't even answer the question. I mean, they barely stay on the question, and then it's just whatever they want to say for 3 minutes.
Yep, 100%.
And it's like, what I like about JD is whether it's a question on a stage, whether it's a question with the media, the dude answers the question.
Yep.
He answers the question. And I appreciate that. When you get asked a question, fucking answer it.
Yeah.
Don't go on a tangent about the three main subjects that you really want everybody to get slammed into their head that you're going to do and change. Like, that's what I feel like Trump does too much of.
Yeah.
He hits on the same three things: inflation, the border, what he did in the past, building the military. Like, I know, dude, just answer the question. Like, I think people know you had a lot of success. You ran the country great. You've sound the alarm on what you're going to do and the things that you're really going to focus on. But when you get asked a question not about one of those things, answer the question. You know, that's my thing.
That interview with Vance is just right about an hour that Sean Ryan did, and it's pretty good. I really enjoyed it, and I have to say that currently, right now, maybe I said this last week, but right now, my favorite podcast to listen to is Sean Ryan's podcast.
He is a good interviewer. He's a veteran. Quality of his podcast is fantastic. He's a patriot.
He's just good at his mannerisms and how he asks questions. I mean, he just needs to come to Iowa. Like, I'd want him. I would love to have him sit down.
Oh, it would be awesome to have him sit down. I mean,
just a great guy.
And he has great guests on.
He does. He's on a roll.
Having that military background, and he was a SEAL, right?
Yeah, he was a SEAL.
Having that connection and that's a community that not a lot of people have access to.
Yep.
And what's his power is those guys will sit down and talk war stories with him because they trust him, and that's so powerful. And he gets to get those kinds of people on that would say no to anybody else, which is cool. So
highly recommend.
Yeah.
Before we move on, I will add one point that JD Vance actually brought up. They were talking about inflation, and they were talking about the size of government, because there's been talk that they have talked to Elon Musk about basically they want to get Elon Musk to be involved in the government if Trump wins, to basically do the same thing he did with Twitter, which when he bought Twitter, he cut 80% of the workforce and
cut all the fucking shit and cut the trim.
And so they basically want him to do the same thing with the government. And they asked him about that. And he answered it very well and about what they talked about. But he gave this statistic, and I had to go back and listen to it. So JD said that in 2019, the budget of the United States, actually not the budget, the amount of money the United States actually spent was $4.4 trillion. And in 2024, they estimate that by the end of this year, we will have spent right around $7 trillion. So that's $2.6 trillion difference between 2019 and 2024. And so Ryan kind of pushed him on that as to, what's the breakdown on that. And he said, so people will make the argument that, all the boomers are retiring, so Social Security, what we paid out in Social Security and Medicare, that's gone up a lot. And he said, and he accounted for that, and he said that out of that 2.6 move between illegal immigrants fleecing the Social Security and the welfare system, more retirees getting Social Security benefits and Medicare, that comes to about $200 million. So out of that 2.6, that's 0.2. So that leaves you with $2.4 trillion. So that $2.4 trillion is just new spending. That's money that is going to
foreign countries.
Bills. Yeah, and not only that, I want to say
Greece politicians.
This reminds me of something else that came up. Do you know, and I hope you do know this, there has been 2 different bills that have been introduced in committee. They haven't made it to the floor because we are still sending money to the fucking Taliban.
And shout out to Sean Ryan for that, because he's the one that actually broke that story.
And he's keeping it going.
Yeah, he had that lady from the FBI on there.
Yes.
I think it was FBI.
No, CIA.
CIA was on there. and she literally
broke it all down.
Spilled the beans on that.
Yeah.
We are giving money to the Taliban and giving money to the Taliban's families that we took out. Like anyone that was affected, if you killed your dad, if we killed your son, we're handing them money. We're giving those family money.
And the Taliban is operating Al-Qaeda.
And here we are, veterans in America that went through it aren't getting shit.
Right.
How fucked up is that? That's so fucked up. It's unreal.
And Tulsi Gabbard, when she was in Congress, she introduced a bill, and she got Rand Paul on board in the Senate, and it didn't go anywhere. And it was called Stop Funding Terrorist Bill, and basically that's what it was for, and it went nowhere. And then Sean Ryan had that what do you call that when people sign a petition? He had a petition that. I think to date it has over 200,000 names on it. If you go to his podcast, you can find a link. But basically, trying to do the same thing. But it's like $2 billion a year that we're spending all over the world. So, as an example, like in northern Syria, we're giving money to Al Qaeda because Al Qaeda is working to overthrow the government of Syria. And it's one of those deals, well, the enemy of our enemy is our friend, and we want to get rid of the regime of Syria. So we're protecting. The United States is actually using military assets to protect Al-Qaeda in northern Syria because they are going after Bashar Assad, or whatever the hell his name is, the government of Syria. And it's such bullshit. Anyway, I'm really getting off.
It's messed up.
The amount of money that is being wasted... It's insane. And if we don't get a hold of it,
those keep going.
I don't know.
Lobbying is what's the problem with politics. We've said that a million times. We talked to our barber that is in a pretty liberal city, and he's pretty middle of the road, and he used to lean probably more left. He even flat out admitted that. But it gives you a sense of fresh air when you go. We get our hair cut from him. We always shoot the shit with him and talk, and he's just a real ass dude, and it's like, he feels all the shit that we're feeling, and he said it himself. He's like, until we get lobbying out of politics, it doesn't matter what side it is. It's going to be, you got people lobbying for farmer, you got people lobbying for the military, you got people lobbying for this and lobbying for that. It is the worst thing that's ever happened to American politics, and that's the thing that. If we could get rid of that, it would bring some unity, maybe some trust. We'd actually start trusting politicians and bills, and if you want to spend money for this and spend money for that. But it's really hard to trust when that's going on.
Yeah.
And something that really did come out of this debate that is a positive at least. They're eating all the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating all the dogs. That meme is fucking hilarious.
That meme ruled TikTok.
That meme went crazy.
I don't know.
Those videos of those dogs with that sound on there and they're looking scared as shit.
What the hell?
Is so funny. That is so funny. And I'm not going to go on about the Springfield thing. I honestly don't know if they are eating the dogs. The Haitians are eating the dogs and the cats. Very well could be, very well might not be. I don't know, but
it's a damn good meme.
It is a damn good meme, and my thing is just like, if there are reports that people like, I just know from personal experience, if my fiance, if she found out that her dog got stolen and fucking ate, she would be. Everybody would be. Everyone would fucking know.
She'd be like.
And so that's my thing. If there's a rumor that might be happening, there's probably a lot of crazy ass dog parents that are fucking pissed that sounded the alarm because
she'd be going Rambo. She'd be going vigilante.
She would.
She
totally them down. Would. Oh yeah,
hunting them down.
She loves her dogs. So
I don't know, but I guess we could go on about the craziness of our government and politics, but I think you all know, and the point of view when we were up there talking to our barber, mean, he cuts and talks to a super wide demographic of people. And the thing is, most people think
we're all feeling it.
We're all thinking the same thing. It's just you don't hear about our voices because the media that's out there, that narrative, they'd like to have you think that you are crazy, that you're weird, that, she's polling so well. I really think at the end of the day, I think it's bullshit. But you know what? I think it's one of those things. The one thing I'll say about this election, and I've said it before, is this election can't be close. I mean, it cannot be close. It isn't enough for you to go vote. You need to vote, and you need to make sure that everyone that is in your circle votes too. Because it's
important.
It's probably the most important election in our lifetime, I feel like.
I would agree to that. I mean, it's shit is gonna go more south. It just is. I mean, it's scary to see where we are, where we've come to, like what we've come to. And I think COVID was really the start of it all. I mean, that was just like, I always go back to that, but that was like the awakening for me that like this shit is not right.
Yep.
Shit's not right. And they have not reestablished trust with me, and I think a lot of people ever since then, because they've given us no reason to trust.
Well,
them.
I think it's
the system
gotten worse.
The system and the establishment, whoever they are, there's definitely an agenda, and it's very blatantly obvious that it's that whatever they want is being played and played out. And don't kid yourself. They have a long game. They have a long-term game of what they want this country to turn into, and they will chip away at it. And they definitely do not want someone that isn't bought by them, that hasn't played the political ladder game and doesn't have shit on them to get in and disrupt their plan. I don't think Trump was never supposed to win.
No.
He was never supposed to win. If you go back and you watch videos of all celebrities, mainstream media, talk show hosts, actors, actresses, artists, anytime they were asked during the point when he was thinking about running or when he started to run, oh, Donald Trump's not going to be president. Oh, that is just fuck. Tom Hanks, I will believe that Donald Trump's going to be president when elephants come flying down with red balloons down to earth, jumping out of airplanes.
Yep.
Like just shit like that. That was like, it was never in the cards. It was never supposed to happen. And when it happened, they went in panic mode and they said, we're never going to allow this happen again.
Yep.
And I think they're trying everything they can. I mean, they tried putting him in prison. They tried framing him. They tried killing him. Twice. They try to drag his name through the mud every fucking day in the media while he was president. I mean, it is wild. It is wild. So it makes me want to vote for him even more. When I know somebody, he's not perfect. I don't think he's the greatest guy in the world, probably.
Right.
But when you got somebody in there that isn't bought by this establishment that just keeps pushing the envelope and making it worse for us as American people, I want that guy in there. I want that guy in there. And I don't think Trump's bought. And some people will say, well, you're wrong. Well, prove me wrong then.
Well, we know what we got. We know what we had. We know what we had. We know what we have now. And I don't want more of what we have now. So I would prefer what we had to what we have, so I'm voting for Trump. That's what it comes down to.
I mean, that's pretty simple.
Good.
That's common sense.
Yep.
And that's not very common.
Fucking short supply.
Yeah, it is.
Jeez.
It is.
One more. We want to hit one more item, and then we're gonna. All of this. The idea of a whiskey minute might turn into a whiskey 10 minutes. I don't know. We might not eat. I might sleep in this chair.
All this can really make a man drink.
But I'll tell you, I'm going to give you a public service announcement. if your phone rings, you might want to know what the area code is from anywhere in Israel. And if it's an Israeli area code, don't fucking answer it. Because I don't know if y'all saw this week or not, but I don't know if it was Monday or Tuesday, literally hundreds of pagers in Lebanon that were all held by people that were members of Hezbollah exploded. And like in their pocket, in their shirt pocket, wherever, they blew up. And people didn't know, and I don't know if they still have got this straight. From what I've heard, they think now that it was basically malware in the pager that caused the battery caused the battery to overheat and explode. But when it first happened, people thought that somehow they had implanted explosives into these pagers. And I don't know how many people it killed, but it injured hundreds of people, pretty much all members of Hezbollah. Well, the next day, so this happens, and obviously they're like, all right, well,
Don't use the
pagers. And they already don't use cell phones because the Israelis have gotten so good
tapping their phones.
Yeah, at tapping all these phones. That's the reason they were using pagers to start with. So they're using two-way Motorola walkie-talkies. The next day, they got all of those to blow up. And there was even more people injured. And I mean, I don't know what they're doing now, but if I was a fucking carrier pigeon, I'd be nervous.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what's going to go on. And of course, the Israelis haven't taken responsibility. They haven't said anything about it.
It's like the Nord Stream pipeline. They ain't going to say shit.
No.
U.S. didn't say nothing. They ain't going to say nothing.
But I'll tell you what, you got to give them credit. I don't know how they do the shit they do, but that country, that military, that intelligent apparatus that they got, it is fucking impressive. And, this deal in southern Israel isn't going to end until they get all them out of there. And it's a shitty deal. But how many times, I don't know how many times the Israelis have tried to make nice with, first it was the PLO, then, now you got Hezbollah, and what's the other group? I can't remember what the other group is. It doesn't matter. But they've tried to make, there is never going to be peace in the Middle East until these groups are taken out, because the part that and we talked about this on a podcast a little earlier, the part that nobody talks about is like the Palestinians. None of the Arabs want the Palestinians either. Part of the reason it's such a bad humanitarian deal in southern Israel is because the Egyptians won't let them into the country, because they did that once, and then the Palestinians, they tried to overthrow the Israeli government.
The Egyptian
government. And Egypt's like, no, we ain't playing this game. And the rest of the Middle East, they don't want them. But nobody talks about that. Everybody makes them the victim. Well, they've been playing dirty pool for generations over there. And anyway, this deal, though, this is kind of like some next level shit that the Israelis are pulling. And I would not want to be pegged up going one-on-one with the Israelis, because I don't think you're going to.
And so, yet somehow they can blow up pagers and they can blow up walkie-talkies without planting bombs. But somehow they can let Hamas fly over their fucking wall.
I know.
And not know that it's coming.
Yeah. That's a weird deal.
It's almost like they almost wanted it to happen.
And that's very possible.
That's my only thing with how this whole thing got started. everybody raves about their intelligence, their military power. You know, they got some shit, but they didn't know that these guys were gonna fly over their wall with these riggedy diggity fucking backpack. Looks like they had a fan on the back of their backpack.
Yep.
Fly over this wall and start this war and kill civilians.
It's a weird
And they
deal.
comparing it to 9/11. This is the equivalent to the America's 9/11 is what they were saying. I mean, it just seems like it's just fishy. I don't know. And it just makes you think, did they want that to happen? Did they let that happen? Did they know that was coming and they allowed it? So they had an opportunity to eradicate them. I don't know. I have no idea, but it's just wild to me. You can blow up people's pagers without even being there or putting a bomb on them, but you just let that happen.
You know what? When we get to this point, I've said this so many times, and I'm going to tell all of you again. The best that you can do is do not take anything that any media, don't trust me. I'm an idiot. I mean, I have days of perfect clarity, don't get me wrong. But, you know, just because I sit here and tell you this shit, do your own research. As Americans, our only hope, when you strip it all away, I say this, how common sense is in short supply. Well, you know who's going to turn this son of a bitch around? It's going to be all of us with common sense that aren't afraid to get your hands dirty, that aren't worried about their feelings getting hurt, that get up every day and just go do shit and make shit happen no matter what, you know, whoever tells you no.
And think.
And
think. I mean, that's the thing. Like what I just did, what a perfect example. Asking that question.
Yeah.
They blow up people's fucking pagers for not being there, but they let people fly over their wall and they were undetected.
Yep, no idea.
I mean, they're just ask questions. Like, how does that make that make sense?
Yeah.
Make that shit make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, people gotta stop just reading the headline. They gotta stop watching just mainstream media because they are spoon feeding the narrative that they want you to hear and see to you. And that's why I always say, we've talked about it on here before too, is I feel like podcasts, the Sean Ryan Show, Tucker
Perfect
Carlson,
example.
what we're doing here, that's like the middle ground. That's real ass people
Talking about real shit.
And, you know, there's some experts that have inside access, like fucking Sean Ryan having that woman from the CIA on, breaks the story about the Taliban. Yep. I mean, that's where you want to know where the real people are. You want to know where the real thinkers are.
Yep. That's
where it's at.
Yep.
Podcasts.
Absolutely.
Podcasts and media that isn't bought. Media that isn't bought and paid for, that is spoon feeding a narrative. I know that we probably lean a little more right than other people, but that doesn't mean that, you know, I have some left leaning views as well. Like I hate the two-party system. We're going to tell it how it is. We don't claim to know all the shit. We don't claim to have all the answers. We don't claim to be the smartest fuckers in the room, but we're real ass Americans looking at this shit going on and asking questions and being like, shit's fucked, Rick, and connecting the dots and listening.
I can be liberal.
Yeah.
I can be liberal.
Yeah.
I feel like a lesbian sometimes.
Yeah, well, me too. I am a lesbian.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck yeah, I am. I love women.
64th Cherokee.
I love women. I love them.
Won't buy a Subaru, but I love women.
Yes.
And, you know, I might be 164th Cherokee. Haven't got any tax credits for it, but son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I could be.
Yeah. You very well could be.
You speak for yourself. I'm right there, middle of the ground, middle of the road.
All I'm saying is just this is where it lies. And I think the people that tune into podcasts really have a good understanding of what you're talking about. I think they're real thinkers, critical thinkers, have some common sense, go and do seek out information, and they know that the mainstream media is fucking bought, and they know a lot of things are bought. Even look at movies now. Look at entertainment now.
Oh,
it's bought.
There's so few.
It's so bought now. I mean, they're all trying to push a narrative too, subconsciously. Or they might throw it in your face, but they're also doing it subconsciously too. I mean, it's all over the fucking place.
It's all pretty blatant. I mean, it's terrible.
It is. It is terrible. But anyway, vote for who you think's going to turn this shit around, because what we're doing ain't working. So vote. Get everyone you know to vote. Do what you think's best. Search your own answers. Search for your own answers. Do your own research. And just don't be a fucking sheep.
Yep.
Stop. We got to have people. You know what the answer is? Get people to stop being fucking sheep.
Yep. Amen to that.
Being a fucking American. Go do some shit. Build some shit. Make some shit. Make your community better. Make your household better. Don't fucking just listen to what everybody else does. Because that's how you end up in fucking Nazi Germany or fucking China. Mao's China.
Yeah,
what
you're
happens.
right. I mean, you're 100%
when you shut your brain off and just go with the flow and just say, oh, well, all right. Taking my guns away, fuck it.
I didn't need them anyway.
Yep, that's when we're
defend
screwed.
my house with a spoon if I have to.
Yeah, I guess.
It's enough to drive a man to drinking.
It is. So why don't you show him that bottle? That is a sick-ass bottle.
Yeah, this is nice, isn't it?
I love it.
So this is a bottle of Baker's 7. I just got it the other day, and I've never had it before. It is 8 years, 6 months old when it was bottled, 107 proof, and I don't know. We're gonna pop it off and see what. Oh,
that was a good pop.
Nice pop. It smells damn good. I can tell you that already. Yeah, I think I'm gonna like this. I mean,
that one's yours.
Yeah, I know. I'll pour you a little one.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get off my rocker. I'm not trying to get off my rocker this afternoon.
I'll just give you a little.
I still got to go to the gym.
All right. Well, I don't have to go to the gym. In fact, I'm probably.
Are we going to sip this, or are we going to just.
You can sip. Well, I'm not drinking this whole. I will sip this.
All right, we'll sip this.
Smell that. Tell me what you think. He has a very.
I wouldn't say it smells sweet.
Oh, I think it does smell a little.
I mean, I think Four Roses smells sweeter than that.
So for my money, like Four Roses, that's
pretty sweet. That's
pretty sweet. Yeah.
I mean, it's sweet, but it's not like that sweet, I guess. It smells good though. It doesn't smell like shit.
I'm gonna try it.
All right, try it. I'll take a sip after I see your reaction. Looks like it's okay.
Almost gave me a hiccup.
I think I'm gonna have one.
Woo. Yeah, it's got a pretty good burn on the backside.
Damn. Well, it kind of burns the whole time.
Oh, I didn't think so. So
right off the bat, I did. Well, it's burning now.
Yeah, it's pretty hard on the front, but gosh, it's got a really nice.
It's smooth. I mean, the flavor's good on it.
You can't say that burns like hell, but boy, is it smooth.
No, the flavor's good on it.
Yeah,
though.
the flavor's.
It's
really
not
good.
like. I like the flavor.
Yeah, I like.
That's what I tried to. That's what I try to kind of mean is like the flavor makes up for the burn.
Yeah.
Because when you have a shitty whiskey that tastes like shit and it burns, that's where it's like, fuck, this is trash.
Bushnells.
Yeah, Bushnells.
So our top end for me, our top end is like that bottle of Hirsch that I had. That's really good. That bottle's just it's about half gone.
This is bourbon.
Yeah,
this isn't whiskey.
Yeah. So that's my like, yeah, that's really good. And then the old bottle of Bushnells, that's like, that stuff, holy cow. That's like,
you would
that's what
set
you
that
drink.
on fire and throw that at people trying to take your weapons away.
Yeah, you would use
that
as
a Molotov
cocktail.
Yeah,
there you go. That's the broad. I would say Baker 7. It's right there. It's real good.
Where would you rate it?
For me, I would rate that. I guess it's subliminal advertising. I'd rate that like a 7, 7.5.
I was going to go 6.5, 7.
All right. See, not bad.
Yeah, not the greatest I've ever had, but not terrible either.
No. Oh, it's definitely.
I don't know if I would drink this on the rocks.
Yeah.
I mean, I could get away with it, but I would prefer some others on the rocks.
I agree with you.
I would probably mix this in an old fashioned.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, that's something that it's kind of interesting because as we've accumulated all this whiskey, and I don't drink really on a regular basis.
The second sip's a little better.
Yeah.
Did you have a second sip yet?
No, but I will. I'm trying to get an idea out here to the people.
All right. Throw it out there. Let them catch it.
But as you kind of accumulate a whiskey collection, I think you're always looking for something that is better than what you think like your favorite is. Because we all kind of have our favorites. And you're always thinking like, oh, this might be something that I like better. But usually what you end up with is you end up with quite a few bottles that you actually would mix. And some of those would piss people off because there's some of the stuff that I would just mix it, that other people be like, oh my God, I can't believe you're going to mix that. You know, you can only drink that neat. That's really good or whatever. And I'm like, it's all right. But to me, you know, this is better. And
that's the beautiful thing about it.
Yeah, it is. That is the beautiful thing about, you know, whiskey is that it's really in the eye of the beholder. And I think I could
take the second sip
because
it's a little better. I think once you have that initial sip, it makes everything a little better.
It tastes like something else, and I can't put my finger on what it is, but it's very similar to something else that I've had.
Bullet.
Not
Baker's.
Not something like Baker's, like
Makers, I said.
Oh, yeah, obviously that's Baker's. I was thinking more like
Knob Creek? Elijah Craig?
Maybe some Elijah Craig.
Whistle Pig?
No, I tell you what, I haven't really had a good bottle of Whistle Pig. There isn't anything I've had from them that I just think is great.
Well, we need to come out with our own little pig.
You aren't kidding. We missed the boat there. Like
we should have fucking.
We should be the official farm of Whistle Pig.
And we missed out on Torque toilet paper, paper towels, and dispensers and
Penny
shit.
a wipe.
God damn. That sucks that you don't own that.
I'm everywhere.
Every bathroom in America, Torque's name is in there. And then we don't get a shit on that.
And then there's some company that makes like timers and like photo eyes, you know, when your night light turns on, that little photo eye. There's a company that makes all that stuff it literally is Torque. I'm like, God, I should get a royalty. Like, why aren't they sponsoring me? I should have a tattoo.
We should really reach out to them. That would be great. We could make some funny ass commercials too.
We could. 100%.
Yeah, we deal with a lot of shit.
Yeah, we could. Like we could do a video going around and wiping all the pigs' asses with toilet paper.
Guess what? We have Torque toilet paper in the garage. Like, we use it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, that's if you can't get any more on brand. If you want to talk about a great partnership with a brand, I mean, shit, that's as real as you get.
Yeah, it is 100%.
So anyway, but yeah, I actually after having my third sip, I'm going to change my score to a 7.
Okay, good.
Not a 6.5. I will go to a 7. It has definitely gotten a little better. I think just that first sip always gets me, especially I haven't had whiskey in a while, but I'm sipping that just fine now.
All right. Well, we better save it. Keep it from evaporating.
Yep, that'd be good. Put the cork back on. Kick-ass bottle, though. I really like the bottle. Nice. That's really cool.
Very nice.
Really, really cool. So,
all right.
Well, I think that's going to wrap it up. I was going to talk a little bit about sports, but I don't know. Hawkeyes suck, Cowboys suck. That's all there is to it.
I tell you what, the Cowboys, the Cowboys, but the Hawkeyes, I don't know. I tell you.
No, the Hawkeyes and the Cowboys are practically the same team, just in different. Cowboys give you hope, kick you in the nuts in the playoffs, choke. Hawkeyes, they build themselves up They win 10 games. Everybody says that they're a contender. They're on the same level as Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan. And then when they play one of those teams in the Big Ten championship, they get absolutely fucking destroyed. And that's how it is.
I know.
Shit is not going to, I don't know. I'm not, people get so pissed when you talk about Iowa football because people love Ferentz. Some people hate Ferentz. Some people say he needed to go. I don't know. Something's got to fucking change. That's all I know. I don't know if he's the answer or not the answer, but something has got to give on that deal. Nebraska's coming. They got Patrick Mahomes Jr. And if the playoff is extended to 12 teams, I don't give a fuck about going to a good bowl game at this point. Let's compete to go play for the national championship. We should be trying to get into those 12-team playoff bid every year.
Well, here's the thing. We had this conversation. So everybody talks about how Iowa, it's defense, it's offensive linemen, it's tight ends, it's whatever. We get all but we cannot get a quarterback. We can't get a quarterback.
And
Iowa State somehow they get a quarterback, Brock Purdy.
I know, and he wasn't stellar. He wasn't stellar, but he was steady. He was above. He was definitely above average. He was a pretty damn good college quarterback. If we had Brock Purdy in the system we have now with a good offense and the defense, the special teams we have, we could go.
Because here's the thing. I have no doubt that the culture at the University of Iowa is excellent because you talk to any former player that played there, they love Kurt Ferentz, they love the strength coaches, they love all the coaches, they love the system. He's a player's coach, great culture. They do a great job of preparing young men to go to the NFL. You talk to any player in the NFL that came from the University of Iowa, they tell you the same story, that the University of Iowa, Kurt Ferentz, set them up so that when they walked in the first day of camp, they were prepared. They were ready to go. We just can't win.
I know. We can't win the big. We can't win the
games.
We can't win the big games, and that's literally the Cowboys. I mean, that's why I say they're identical. I'm rooting for two identical teams. They do the same shit to me. They build my hopes up, and then they fucking stab my heart when it matters. I'm just numb at this point.
I think I better slide that bottle over closer to me because you just might go down a real bad path and. I might find you here tomorrow morning.
Oh, geez. I don't care about football as much as I used to. My fantasy team, though, isn't as good this year. I won last year. It's looking leery this year. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to repeat. It's hard to repeat, but anyway, that's I just felt like we were sipping this whiskey, so we better talk about something. So I figured that was a little good extra filler. But anyway, we love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Go vote. Don't be a sheep. Share the show with those that you know. Leave a review on Spotify or Apple. And if you want some baby back ribs at a discount, we would really appreciate your support at farmergrade.com. You can use code BARNTALK to save 10% off your next order. And we'll see you back here next week for another episode.